I think most Americans feel in their gut that something is wrong in our country, that we're spending too much, we're on the wrong path somehow or another. Most people don't know how we even got here. That's what we try to do every day at 5 o'clock, is try to figure out how we got here, how do we get out of this place, what's the right move, what's really happening in our world, and kind of look at it as the giant puzzle, if you will. The first thing we have to do is find out who we are. You have to figure out, if you're going to try to figure out who you are, what is it that you believe? What is it that is important to you? I remember I used to be, believe it or not, a liberal. I don't think I was ever a progressive, but I used to be a very social liberal and everything else. But I was a fiscal conservative. Then I discovered alcoholism and discovered AA and sobered up. The only way that I knew I could stay sober is if I figured out what I really believed. This is me, many of the things that I believed that I was liberal on was only because I didn't want to make the tough choices. I didn't want to say, and I didn't want to be consistent. That was my real problem. I was never consistent on anything. Unless we're consistent, I don't think we can solve any problem. So who are you? No judgment. Are you liberal? Are you conservative? Are you libertarian? Or are you progressive? Do you even know what progressive means? There's a quiz on the front page of glennbeck.com. Just go to the website and take that quiz and find out where you fall. And then see if all of your views match those views. See if was anybody surprised on, because the studio audience here today took a quiz. Was anybody surprised on where they ended up? You were. Lisa, what did you think you were?
I went in knowing that I was libertarian. Just absolutely knew it straight down the line. And I clicked on the results button and found out I was my parents. Conservative.
You were conservative?
Yeah.
Really? So that means, Judge, help me out on this, if you're conservative, that means if you're between these two, the libertarian and conservative, you want some regulation in your life. For instance, you think that should you regulate any drugs? You believe you should regulate drugs. Heroin shouldn't be, right? How about something that's not quite so harmless or so nasty? How about pharmaceuticals like antibiotics? Should they be regulated?
Yes.
How about Coca-Cola?
No.
Coca-Cola, originally, that was the first case for the FDA. Theodore Roosevelt was the first one that came in and said, we have to set up the FDA, because remember, progressives' idea, that is to control everything. So the progressive idea was to go and regulate everything, and they wanted to take care of everybody because everybody, they just don't know. They started with Coca-Cola, had a court case and said, Coca-Cola, it's got cocaine in it. Well, they had a test by the government, found out there was no cocaine in it. It wasn't addictive that way, although it is simply delicious. And then the government lost their court case, came back and said, well, how come that's fraud? How come you're selling something saying Coca-Cola with no Coke in it? They took that when it led to prohibition. So it's a slippery slope, and I think that would be the case you would make.
That's the same argument I would make, because we are seated in the middle of New York City, where the mayor wants to regulate sugar and salt. So if you accept the argument that the government knows best, there is no end to what the government will try and keep from us.
Let me go to the, if I can, pull up National ID card. Can we go there? Can you guys pull the National ID card quiz? Because I just have about a couple of minutes. National ID card. There should be no National ID card required. National ID would effectively end all privacy in this country. Judge, why was that? Why would that be true?
Because it is absolutely un-American that the police could stop you and say, show me your papers.
Papers, please.
The right to travel and think and express yourself requires breathing room. It doesn't permit uniformity.
We need a national ID card to prevent terrorist events, but should not go too far into personal privacy. Who said yes to this? Look at Harry's hands are going over. How come? How come?
I thought maybe it'd be a good idea that we identify people. There's a lot of illegals in the country, and it'd be a system to just, if they go into hospitals, if you...
See, here's the thing. Mara, first of all, nobody should be shy about hanging out. I don't really care. I really don't care. If you're a progressive, you're a progressive. It doesn't matter. There's no right answer here. No, I'm not saying you're progressive. I'm not accusing you of that. What I'm saying is there's no right answer. The point of this is, who are you? Who are you? We're 300+ million people in America. We're going to be all of these things, and that's okay. Just know who you are so you can defend it. Now, you say, we have illegals here, et cetera, et cetera. Judge, it's always the slippery slope that progressives will always say, that's crazy.
The argument that this wonderful young lady is accepting presumes that the card system would work. If she's concerned about illegals, a piece of paper in their pockets is not going to prevent them from being here. But a piece of paper in everybody else's pockets that the government requires us to carry will limit our privacy, will limit our ability to express ourselves, and will limit our ability to travel.
Devil's advocate, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? So they have an ID card. What are you, a criminal? What, do you have something to hide?
I am afraid of losing my dignity, of my self-respect, my rugged individualism, which is at the core of Americanism. Can you think of anything more un-American than the police stopping you saying, where are you coming from, where are you going to, and show me your papers?
You know, we really changed as a country, and I'm trying, boy, there's so many loosey-goosey facts here on today's show. There's so many things that have changed. I think it was Hoover, forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but I think it was Hoover that there was a big local emergency. It was someplace down south, I don't remember what it was, and he sent in their FEMA, if you will. He sent in the feds, and he said, we got to help them. Americans, now this is just, think of this, this is 1928, 29. Americans actually in that town put down what they were doing. I think it was a flood. Put down what they were doing, and they met the troops at the town border and said, turn your butt around and get out. We don't need you here. You have no right to be here. Look how now we stand with signs on our roofs saying, help me, help me. Now we stop looking to each other. It was Grover Cleveland, I think, that actually said no to a farm subsidy. Farmers in Texas were wiped out. He said, we've got to take $10,000 of federal money. This is what the Congress said. $10,000 worth of federal money and buy seeds and send it down to Texas so they can replant their crops. Grover Cleveland said no. He vetoed it. Both houses. Can you imagine somebody doing that? The hate monger that he is. He said, I trust the American people. The people, the neighbors in Texas will help these people. The neighbors in Texas actually raised 10 times the amount for the seeds than the government did. Somewhere along the line, we've lost our will to help each other out. And we now walk, and you see it in New York City, we walk by and say, why doesn't somebody fix this? We'll be right back in just a second. Welcome back. If you go to glennbeck.com, you're going to find a quiz. Yes, it's Pop Quiz Day. You're going to find a quiz there on the front page of the website, glennbeck.com. Who are you? Who are you? We have to have arguments with people now who are really based in something real. Don't say you're a progressive because I like progress, like it's cool. Don't say you're a conservative. I don't know why you would say you're a conservative at this point. Hey, I just want to be called a racist hate monger. Are you a libertarian? I contend most people are libertarian because they want that freedom themselves, but then they start to get trapped in, well, that's a good point, or even worse, well, I could get free stuff for me. This isn't about us. This is about our children and passing something on. And we've become this society where we just want stuff. Is that really where we're headed? Is that who you are? Let's look at some of the questions that you'll be taking in this quiz if you go to the website glennbeck.com. Corporate welfare. The government must ensure everyone has food, clothing, and shelter, and should also invest in private industry if it's in the public interest. Can I tell you something? This is almost, correct me if I'm wrong, Judge, this is almost Theodore Roosevelt.
Right.
This is Chad shaking his head. You know Theodore Roosevelt, Chad? This is the beginning of the progressive movement. The second one is end corporate welfare, no government handouts to business.